Here we go, guys. Spawning in the top left position as our red Zerg player. He got punished for his greed in the first game, and in the second game, he handled the aggression very well. It is from Team LiquidRet. And spawning in the bottom right position as our blue Protoss player, known as the Master of Special Tactics, it is WhiteRa. Yeah, alone and drunk. That feel. All of the feels. So the winner of this map actually goes up to play against Jim, and then the winner of that will advance out of the group. So very, very intense, important stuff here. WhiteRa, of course, representing with his sick pylon. And he's going to go for a relatively fast scout, which is not a bad idea at all. It looks like he wants to either go for the Nexus first again or the Forge expand. Now, Rhett, the question is he going to go for a 15 supply pool? Okay, he's going to go for the 15 pool. Possibly, yeah, he's not going to go 15 hatch. So 15 pool on this map, it's one of the hardest maps to wall off on. So WhiteRa might open with a Forge just because. But you can't open up with the Nexus, I think, almost always blindly against Rhett. That's just how rarely the dude will cheese or all in you. So WhiteRa's dancing around with his probe. He kind of wants to delay the hatchery if he can, just so he can get his Nexus up first. I consider that's like a big achievement here. Once the Nexus starts, and the longer you delay it, it's all gold right there, because right now that Nexus is going. If that hatchery doesn't get up within the next 5 or so seconds, then suddenly WhiteRa is ahead of whole worker that he would normally be. So he is going to be about 13 seconds ahead of Rhett's hatchery, which is, about one larva and one probe. So it is significant. 4 Zerglings going to be made by Rhett. And that's actually a bit more than he would normally make. The probe does a bit of poking onto that hatchery. Maybe he's a bit worried of something like potential aggression. But no, the Overlord arrives, and this time he will see that there's a pylon coming in. He will spot the gateway and the Forge. And WhiteRa kind of delayed that cannon a bit, but he's not really that worried about it because he knows the Zerglings were chasing his probe around inside the main. He can get the cannon without too much difficulty. If the Zerglings get past his wall, it would kind of suck, but he has an idea where they are. 2 of them chasing the probe, and then at worst, 3 of them might... Actually, it's just 1 chasing that probe. Yeah, he's going to take his 3rd base, so not unusual at all. And WhiteRa walls off with the 2nd gateway, and he will likely cancel this once he knows that he's safe, but he just doesn't want to deal with this. He's going to throw in another one to finish the wall off, and he just doesn't want these Zerglings to get in and do any damage or do any scouting before that photon cannon finishes. Now we should see WhiteRa just cancel both of them and throw on the Cybernetics core, which he is more than free to do. Pretty standard way to play, and it's a smart way to play too. Just being safe, I guess, is the best way to describe it. So the core is on the way. And yeah, both players doing pretty standard openings so far. I like that Rhett built a couple more lings. WhiteRa's probe is somehow not dead. I don't even know what I'm watching. His probe is just like, it's like a troll probe. Just endlessly running around, and this one Zergling without speed just can't kill it, because every time the Zergling catches up to it, he deals that 5 damage. WhiteRa's probe just like regenerates. Just regenerates hit with the shields on it. He needs to be careful though with turning it around, because that could be dangerous. Slightly faster gas for Rhett this game. He's going to go for the extractors at about 540 as compared to the 605 that we saw in the original game number 1. He's still droning pretty hard though. Most importantly, WhiteRa, I'm really curious what he's doing, because he's getting the Mothership Core, but we don't see any tech buildings. And I would say classically, he does favor Stargate, but this game it looks like he wants a fast 3rd. The Overlord, I think Rhett knows about this. Oh, that Nexus is starting. WhiteRa, you gotta defend it. Make your expansion and defense it. So important. Rhett microing those Zerglings like a champ. Being as cost effective as possible will kill the Zealot. Not bad at all. And the Stalker's gonna pick off the Zerglings, but WhiteRa's gonna get that 3rd base. And now I'm curious what Rhett's response will be. Is he gonna go for something crazy like a straight 4th and 5th base, which is something that we've actually seen him do can't remember what match it was, or even if it was Ret. I've seen Zerg do that actually pretty recently on this map. But WhiteRa is here. He's got a Stalker. He's got the Mothership Core. And I mean, Ret knows he's being greedy. Ret knows that there's not going to be anything behind this Stalker and Mothership Core. So if he can catch him off guard, kill them off, or at least kill off the Stalker, and then run past the Mothership Core, he can do some damage back to WhiteRa. And a lot of roaches are being made. This is more than your average defensive number of roaches. He should recognize that WhiteRa cannot afford to actually make a big army to attack him with, because he did take that third Nexus. In fact, the Overlord should have seen it actually start. Yeah, the Overlord knows about it, so he's just going to make a bunch of lings and roaches. I like this play from Ret. He wants to get a quick clean gate number 3. And WhiteRa sees everything coming, but he's adding on a lot of gateways. He will need to add on at least a couple more cannons, so 1 more cannon is on the way. And another thing that might actually hurt him is that he doesn't have any sentries. Yeah, just warping in his first one right now. And that's a really, really greedy setup to have, because that's not going to be enough force fields to actually keep the roaches away. It's just going to maybe cover them from running past the wall. And now the roaches are coming in. They are trying to fight their way up here. The cannon is adding in a lot of DPS, but is it going to be enough? I'm not so sure. Really starting to push in here. That 1 force field is going to do it, but there you go. He doesn't have enough force fields. And now Ret is pouring into WhiteRa's natural expansion. Once these cannons are dead, WhiteRa might lose his chances in this group. And oh, there goes all the cannons. WhiteRa, Zerglings sprinting into WhiteRa's main base mineral line. There's actually no wall broken here, but Ret is doing so much damage, warping in more Stalkers. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I don't think so. He has so many roaches. The Fortune Overcharge will be barely enough to defend the natural expansion, but the main base is going to get ravaged. The Nexus goes down. The Zealots are going to be chopped up as well. They do have that +1 attack, which is quite nice for fighting versus the Zerglings, which is why Ret would rather target down the Stalkers. But now there's just an endless stream of Zerglings pouring in, and he's just going to run in here and get on top of these Zealots. And if he can take out the production, if he can camp the gateways, he can do a lot of damage. But the Mothership Core combined with the Potent Overcharge has that natural lockdown pretty securely. And yeah, Ret has a lot of units waiting outside of this wall, but nevertheless, there is still a wall. It's actually kind of open. He could technically run into that base again if he really wanted to. There's still no sentries, and the Zealot hasn't been repositioned to actually block it. But Ret, he's got his lair about to finish. He's got his Roach Warren done. So he's going to drone behind this, and now he's going to try to run in again. This wall not actually here yet. The Mothership Core doesn't have enough energy for an overcharge. It will soon, though. But he's not really going to be able to get into that mineral line and do too much. He's trying to kill the Zealots. I will say, those Zealots trade so cost-effectively versus Zerglings once they have +1. Like, oh, no, he might be able to target this Nexus down, which would be huge if he could force a cancel on that main base Nexus. He's going for it, but the Zealots are here. He's going to try to get a good surround. +1 Zealots, though, they really just wreck Ling's faces. He's, I was going to say only kill 1, but even that one got away with 1 more hit available before it would die. So, smart play here from our Protoss player, WhiteRa trying to hold off at least. But Ret is looking so good right now. WhiteRa's probe count 43 to 73 drones. He doesn't quite have the mineral bank. He doesn't quite have the income that he needs to make a switch in some sort of later attack. He does have some Zealots preemptively posture at this 3rd or 4th base. He's going to try to take this down. He does force the cancel on that hatchery. And there's a bunch of roaches coming out. So we could see from Ret just, you know, continue to put the pressure on. He has crippled WhiteRa quite significantly. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to just force his way through again. But WhiteRa did break open the rocks leading between his 3rd and his natural, which is going to be really nice because now he can really take advantage of the triple probe production. And yeah, WhiteRa's just working away these rocks. He's pretty much going to go all in off of this. He's got so much here. And the Mothership Core, where is it? He can retreat. He can retreat now that he has the recall. But you know, I don't even know if he'll need to. There's so many Zerglings here. These Zealots are just going to completely eviscerate them. And yeah, the Zerglings are gone in a heartbeat. And the Zealot's actually going to get on top of the Roaches. The Stalker and Sentry support is actually going to help quite significantly. Is reckoned to be able to hold on here? I don't know, but like that game number 1 though, with that minus the Rage Quit we do, or I guess I don't know, the early preemptive GG, we do have a lot of Mutalisks coming out for our Zerg player, and there's not terrible amount of anti-air. A good number of Stalkers, but 15 mutas is a really hard number to deal with. The Mothership Core is gone. The drones are going to be pulled. Ret is pulling everything to hold this attack off. He needs to stop this. He needs to preoccupy the Stalkers as much as he can. And, you know, unlike the last game, unlike the previous games, he's not going to lose his drones defending his bases. We're not going to see a GG out of Ret anytime soon. We're not going to see him go for the fast GG build either. He's going to retake that 4th base. And he's just going to continue to pump up Mutalisks. And WhiteRa, he doesn't have a Stargate. This is going to be very difficult for him to deal with. He's just warping in basically a Stalker and a Sentry. And that's not going to be enough. He just does not have enough to hold on to this, especially without the Mothership Core. How is he supposed to defend his base, or at least his expansions from Harass while he's defending his main base from your army? I don't think it's going to be able to work. And the Mutas are about to run in towards the Natural, and that's it. All the units are pulled towards the left side. They're getting on top of the probes. WhiteRa can't really do too much about this. There's just so many Mutalisks. He could even run on top of the Stalker if he really wanted to. Trying to bust their way in towards the Natural expansion are the Roaches of Ret. And there's the GG from WhiteRa, realizing he cannot do it. And Ret is going to take this series 2-1 for the Russian Starleague. Really nice play by Ret to at least secure himself that nice position there, where he was able to win, basically. And yeah, Ret's going to be end up playing against... Ret will end up playing against Jim in the winner's match. And yeah, so we'll get you guys into that game as soon as we can. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Russian Starleague Group B.